Hi, welcome to Gabbing with Girlfriends. And it's just me, myself, and I today. I've had a really rough couple weeks, but I'm so sick of moaning about it. I'm not even going to do it today. Okay, I'll do it really quickly. My son got married on July 13th, which was just magnificent. And July 15th, I had a fall and sprained my hip and tore ligaments in my groin, and I've been kind of immobile, getting around on like a crutch. I'm so miserable. But other than that, I've been having a great summer. But I'm nearly 3 weeks into this. I can't believe my son got married 3 weeks ago today. Wow. God, it feels like months ago. You look forward to this forever and ever and ever, and suddenly the day happens, it flies by. There's like so many things that you wish you could have said or done. And the day is gone, and now it's only been 3 weeks, and I swear to you, it feels like it's been ages. I gave a speech there, and of course, the second the speech finished, I realized everything that I either got wrong, forgot to say, or wished I would have even thought of. So the moral to that story is you should either write your speech in advance, which I can't do, I'm an ad-libber, or don't agree to doing a speech, or make some kind of note or something that you'll pay attention to, because I really didn't do a good job. But anyway, it was a marvelous wedding, and the summer's been fantastic. I hope your summer's been great too, because mine has been really just beyond, between my grandkids all being together and the wedding and just everything. I'm happy and lucky. So I should call this episode Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About Life But Was Too Scared to Ask, because that's really what this is about: life, good and bad. And in spite of having a walking stick and feeling like I'm never going to be able to walk properly again, and no, I'm not going to have physio, because everybody I know that has physio tells me that although at the end of the day they were perfectly fine and so grateful they did it, I remember the aches and pains they went through while doing it. So anyway, I don't want any more aches and pains in my life. But yeah, in spite of all that, I'm really lucky and I'm really happy, and I'm really um, it just freaks me out when I sit back and look at what's happening with our world. Everything seems upside down, or it's just shit. Everything's just wrong. When you hear about crime in places that don't normally have crime, like in England, where there really isn't much crime by comparison, and you read about a child stabbing other children to death at a dance class, is about as bad as it could get anywhere. And it's just, I just can't even imagine what these families are going through. So I hope anybody listening to this that knows the story has these families in their hearts, because it's just, I don't know how you ever recover from that. So yeah, how did we get to such a terrible place? Anyway, moving on. I don't want to be political today. I don't want to be dramatic today. I don't want to be sad today. I just wish everything wasn't so dreadfully wrong. So I hope everybody's having as good of a summer as I'm having. And I have a whole bunch of questions that have come in, because I've been kind of behind. So, and I always like saving my questions for when I'm speaking to Gabby, because she's so good at answering them. But I'm going to do some today too. So, ready? Would you rather eat a cockroach or be a cockroach for a day? That's horrible. Neither. But I know that's not the way the game works, and I know I have to pick one. So I'm going to say be a cockroach, and I hope nobody steps on me, because it's only for a day. So I'd go back to my normal life, right? That's what I think it means. Okay, how to heal from a toxic relationship with a narcissist. Well, I've never had a an intimate relationship with somebody that's a narcissist. My husband, fortunately, isn't a narcissist. I've had female friends that were narcissists, and the best way to heal from it is to walk away from it, because being around a narcissist in any way, shape, or form, in my opinion, is so not healthy. Okay, so that's easy. Just go. Just walk away from it. That's the only healing process there is going. What are 3 things you can't live without? I can't live without my grandkids, my kids. That should count as one thing anyway, because they both have the word kids in it. So that should mean something. I can't live without animals, my animals. And I never thought I'd really say this, but I think I can't live without a really good friend or two. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just, maybe this is an age thing where you kind of realize at some point in your life that having somebody that's not an immediate family member, but should have been an immediate family member is good to have, because you always need that kind of outside person that you can be your total self with, you can be nothing but honest with, and that loves you unconditionally. I know my animals love me unconditionally. I'd like to think my husband does, but probably not. I think that everybody has some kind of condition that they expect or think the relationship. Anyway, those are my 3 things. Kids, grandkids as 1, my animals as 2, and a close friend or 2. That's it. That's all I need. How do I make being a parent and a full-time employee less exhausting? Well, I don't really know. I think life is exhausting, and I think being a parent is the most exhausting thing anybody can do. And obviously, working while being a parent is super hard. So I don't really know how you make it less exhausting, except that finding time for yourself. If it's finding time to relax in a bathtub, or finding time to, relax in front of the TV, or having a girls' night out, something like that, that's just for you, not for your job, not for your family, just for you. I think that's super, super important. Yeah, and I guess it takes some of the edge off. So it'd be relaxing. And I need a drink. What's your favorite book? I'm not a reader. My husband's book is my favorite book, Into the Void. I've never really had a favorite book. I always said for years that my favorite book was Ayn Rand's Fountainhead, but I think that I don't really know why it was. It was in high school, but I can't remember why it was. But I think maybe because everybody thought it was cool. I don't really know. I wasn't one of the cool kids, so I don't really know. Maybe I did really love it, and I always said I'd have to revisit it as a grown-up, but I've yet to do so. But that's it. I don't really have any books. If it doesn't have pictures in it, then it's hard for me to relate. So I'm a good People magazine person, I guess. Okay, what's your television guilty pleasure? I'm sure we've had this before, and I'm sure I had a different answer before, so I'll go ahead and answer this anyway. There's an English show called Come Dine With Me, and it's where people cook for each other, and you get graded on your entertaining skills, your cooking skills, your hosting skills, your cooking skills, and sometimes people have entertainment and whatever. Anyway, you're graded, and then the winner's chosen. Similarly, there's something called Four in a Bed, which is about 4 different couples going to 4 different bed and breakfasts, and judging them on their hosting skills, their the actual bed and breakfast, and the breakfast part of the bed and breakfast, which in England means everything. I guess I'm a breakfast person. I guess everybody's really is or should be a breakfast person, but people really love their breakfast there. And the cleanliness. So they go into these bed and breakfasts, into their rooms, and they lift up mattresses and pull back sheets looking for dust or hair or whatever, everything you could possibly imagine. They're looking closely in the toilets, and it's hysterical. It's really funny and disturbing in as much as I can't believe how many places aren't as clean as you'd like to think they are until you start pulling up sheets. But I've just discovered these things on YouTube. So these same English shows you can find on YouTube anywhere, and totally addicted, because since I've had this bad hip, I can't really do a lot. So that's what I do. I can use the clicker just fine, and I get on the couch or in bed and I watch hours and hours and hours of this nonsense. It's very simple, but it's very entertaining. And when you're confined to virtual bed rest, then you suddenly start finding, that true guilty pleasure. And mine are these two shows. So if nothing else, if you ever find yourself bedridden, that's what you should watch. Okay, how can women manage societal expectations? Like, for example, timelines. Shouldn't you be married by now? And, what are you waiting for? People should have children by such and such age. I don't know how women handle it. I don't. And I don't even believe that in 2024, these societal expectations still exist. They shouldn't. I'd like to think they don't really exist anymore. And if they do, then shame on you, society, for doing this to people, because it's really not fair. Not everybody wants kids. Not everybody can have kids. Not everybody can find the right partner to marry. And there should be no expectations on anybody at any time. So there. How to deal with anxiety and depression. Come dine with me and four in a bed. That cures everything. I don't really know. I don't really know. I have my own anxieties, and I've had odd bouts of periodic depressions. And, I found meditation is a good kind of cure it all for me. Chocolate is a good cure it all for me. Simple TV is a good cure it all for me. And of course, Rummy Cube is a good cure it all for me. I think just finding something that's so distant from whatever it is that's making you anxious or making you depressed, but something so far removed that you just feel good. You just feel good doing it. Whatever it is. Some people it's cooking. Some people it's, hiking or reading. I wish I was a reader. I do, because my husband's a serious, serious reader. And yeah, I think it's always been kind of embarrassing for me to be so not a reader. But whatever it is, I think there's always that really passionate hobby or pastime that you should or could get more deeply involved in, just to help, take the edge off and relieve those things that we all suffer, because we all do. Everybody has periods of anxiety, and that's how I would deal with it, is just finding those things that make you feel better. Who do I think should win the election? I'm not even going there. So next, do you believe in aliens? I do. I didn't, but something happened when my kids were young. James, I guess, would have been, I don't know, 8. And he and his friend Jack, passionate about Ghostbusters. Then they got passionate about anything to do with aliens. Then they got passionate about Area 51. And we were taking a road trip, my husband, myself, and the 2 kids, and found through some, I don't even know if James found it or if Jack found it or who found it, but somebody found a detailed map on how to find Area 51. And we went. We found it and went, even though there were 1,000 different signs saying government warning, government property, you will be removed, or just really, really, really scary signs. And of course, we kept driving, because I was driving and I was full of adventure. So of course, we were driving and found a spot to stop. And the boys all got out of the car. We're gone ages and ages and ages. And I sat in the car. I actually sat in the car because found a spot where I was able to get a radio station, and I was managing a band that was going to radio that day. And I was dying to hear this particular song on the radio. And anyway, so all of a sudden I'm looking in the rearview mirror and I'm seeing a hill miles and what seemed to be miles away, way, 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 way back. This like huge hill with, all of a sudden it looked like Men in Black. It looked like men, like the hill was covered with seemingly men with guns. I mean, I know it sounds really crazy, but all of a sudden, my husband and the boys come rushing back to the car and said, "Let's go, let's go." And I said, "What's going on?" They said, "Look behind you." And I was right. What I thought I saw, I was actually seeing. And we sped out of there immediately. So that isn't proof that there are aliens, but there had to be something going on. And also, the only other transportation besides my car that was anywhere to be seen that day was aluminum, but was trucks, big long trucks that were like cylinders, looked like they were covered in aluminum foil. And this couldn't have looked any more like something that would have been in a movie, that would have had, this truck would have looked like it should have had a family of aliens in it. It sounds so bizarre, but that's what I believe was in it. And I believe that there had to be aliens there, because I don't believe that all these military, they didn't even have on military uniforms, but all these people suddenly appeared, and all these signs that were really scary and should have been deterrents and should have kept us out, didn't. So they'd have all of that going on. Something serious had to have been up there. So in answer to my question, I do believe in aliens. And I think I've seen UFOs before. Well, I guess if I didn't know what it was, that it would be an unidentified flying object, which again doesn't mean it's a spaceship, but I think it probably was. Yeah. Okay, I'm saving the rest of my questions for when I have Gabby. Let me just look and see if there's a couple more that I may want to do. But yeah, it's definitely far more fun doing it with somebody else, especially her. Well, since I also seem to be not getting anywhere really fast, and I don't have any more summer talk, and I can't think of any good stories to share, no good gossip on my end. I wish I had recipes to tell you, but I don't even have that. Don't have any more shows to recommend. I guess I'll say goodbye. This was really quick, and I feel like I was really boring. But anyway, I'm hoping everybody's having a marvelous summer, and keep questions coming, because Gabby and I love answering them. Thank you very much for tuning in. Happy summer, and back with Gabby, or a nice entertaining guest next time, because I know I get quite boring. Okay, thank you. Bye. Thanks so much for tuning in today, and be sure to follow Gabbing with Girlfriends on here so you never miss an episode. You can also find us on social media for more fun and in-depth conversations. Thank you.